Okay, so another replay review here for TheBadLoaf. I'm a little confused because this is a 4v4, so this must be a private match. Actually, are you an MLE? Is this an MLE match? That's awesome if so, because I was an MLE. And I actually was the CL2's champion last season, and I am no longer in the league, but I recognize LOL man, at least. So if you are, best of luck, dude. I hope you do well. That's really cool. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get into this, given this is probably a league match. So, yeah, let's see what we got. Okay, good patience. Oh, unfortunate boost miss there. Alright, so right here. When it comes to dodging a demo, think of it like a fake. Think of it like you want to throw the opponent off of what you are going to do. They're going to read what is most likely, and that is drive forward. Throw on the brakes right here. Just slam on the brakes. You will stop perfectly. Lolman is about to fly past you. Instead, he turns into you because you kept a trajectory, which ends up leading to a goal. That's just how you dodge demos, though. But anyway, try it. Just try it out. Jumping is a bad idea, but there you just want to keep an eye on your opponent. See that he's coming in here and just throw on the brakes. You get a free touch. Alright, so I don't know if this was intentional, but make sure you're flipping into this. If you're not, you're just chipping this ball forward into the opponent. So make sure you get height and jump and flip into the ball at least. Unless you're trying to beat him, but that doesn't really work anymore because a lot of people speed flip now and they know how to counter it. Okay, let's see here. Good back post rotation. I think he just, yeah, it's just a reaction time thing. Now, with that said, I'm going to go to fly here. You still want to come in here and be more in this net. When you're out here, you have less reaction time to work with something like this. So this was a pretty good shot from him. There's not a ton that would have made this easier, but one small thing is kind of being more in right here. That way you can jump up toward it instead of, having to get a lot of verticality really quickly. You have a little more time to react. That was just on player view. Goodness, I'm all over the place. Let's see here. Yeah, that's right. Okay, back to you. Here we go. Okay, I respect you turning around. So here, I think you could have maybe done both, actually. Let's see it again. Yeah, I almost would have prioritized that boost. And the reason that I would have prioritized that boost is now Lolman is going to be completely out of the play. He's 0. If you steal his boost, he is forced to get back. By hitting this ball, you're buying a little bit of time. But if you take that boost, which you can beat him to, you can guarantee that he is not going to have the option here to generate any offense. Oh, I just had you. There we go. So he just kind of bangs it out mid. Doesn't really do much for him. And then Tangent throws it away. Unfortunate. I like you taking your time here. I would not have flipped into the ball, though. So watch the opponents. You have a little more time than you think. Oh, doesn't matter. He ends up whiffing. But you could also just push that into the corner. That's a good flick. Perfect. All right, we take that. I would not rush that ball immediately. He's staying on that, which is a little unfortunate. Don't hate it. That's too bad. Nice save. So here, the flip is where this went wrong. When you flip into the play, it's basically a commitment, which is a tough thing to understand, but you're putting full faith in tangent here when you flip, because it's now you're out of position or unable to move your car for, even though it's maybe a second at most. That 1 second is enough for lol man here to basically take advantage of that. Because tangent hits it right into lol man, it's a little unfortunate, and he ends up putting a heater on the net. Not much you can do, but don't flip into it unless, you know, you're certain that that's not going to happen. And it's just not worth that. Nice. Way to stay in it, way to be patient. We want to see. So I think it looks like, from what I'm seeing, unless you're going for the demo play, in which case, interesting. I guess I thought maybe there you were trying to go for the speed flip beat. And again, if that's what you were trying to do, I really don't think it's a great idea. Most people are going to be able to counter that these days. And then as for the demo, that's also kind of an inherent risk. But let me go back a little bit because I'm all over the place now. Okay, so this is a little risky as well. Tangent's going to take this ball. He's already committed for it. He's turned for it. I would not push out of this immediately because he's going to take this challenge already, you can tell. Even if it's not going to be a great challenge from him, you're now last man. So let him do what he's going to do and wait for what happens next. Make sure you're not getting bumped or demoed by Muffin here. It would be kind of stupid for him to go for that, but he didn't have an attack angle, and you can tell. So when you're here, you know he's waiting out mid. This ball bounces out at a pretty severe angle. This isn't a threat. It's going more to the right side of the field. If you stay in net, and what's this guy's name over here? Yeah, if lolman comes over and actually manages to put a shot on net, he's not going to be able to generate power. And you have free possession at that point. So by diving on this ball here, when tangent is in front of you, you're kind of assuming that you are going to win this challenge. You're going to get possession and get the breakaway here. But just given the position of everyone else, it's kind of a bold assumption to make. So in this case, just be patient. Let tangent do what he's going to do. Let him rotate back to net, and then once he's in a safer place, now it's your turn. Which it almost converts. They probably should have, but not quite. Solid patience. I like you staying near the net there. I would not. Okay, yeah. Way to not dive on this when tangent's going for this ball. He shouldn't have. It seems he doesn't have a whole lot of. No, he has 100 boost. He just couldn't quite get the mechanics to pull it off. That's okay. I mean, I respect the trust in him. Okay, yeah, that was a good kickoff. Do that every time. Every single time. Get the boost first, too. Oh, tangent, buddy. It's okay. We all do it. Yeah. That's just unfortunate. He's watching this, too, then I'm sorry. He's having to see that numerous times. Wait, how did he even get there? It was just on kickoff. Okay, well. Yeah, there's really nothing you could have done. You had a good kickoff. It ended up going near the guy, which is unfortunate, but hey, that bang is just, you just gotta hope more on tangent. Alright, yeah, patience. You don't need to commit for that. Nice job hitting it over him. Nice work. Yeah. I like the patience here. A lot of players, when they find themselves in this position, or even a little sooner, they just hit ball. You observe that he turned away. So now you have all the time in the world to take this challenge and do what you want to do with it. And you do exactly that. So you catch it. You can even like low dribble this and just chip it over him or chip it to the side of him, shoot whenever he tries to challenge. But it works out. It was a little shaky there, but yeah, I really appreciate the patience. Okay, so with this one, I do the same thing. Look, I get tempted. You have all the time in the world here. By hitting this ball as hard as you do, you are almost giving away possession. You have 100 boost in the tank. Lowellman's the only one that's close. The other guy rotated far. Make this a very, very soft touch mid. Doing that is going to pressure Lowellman where he may not even want to go for this mid boost. By hitting it more forward, you're hitting it into the corner, and there's really just not a whole lot of offense you can generate from the corner. You could even have caught this ball and gone for a dribble because, again, Lowellman has no boost. And he's no longer going for that one, so you have a ton of time here. But the long, slow play in the air just buys them a lot of time. And again, I do it too. I like to go for the flip resets and everything, and I think I'm like a god every time that happens, and it never works. But in the sake of winning, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go back on this one real quick. I was talking too much. I'm gonna see what happened. When you're already supersonic here, well, okay, you can use boost, by the way. You have 100. Use some. There's pads in your way. You're gonna fill back up, but again, whenever you are flipping through the field like this, you're giving another opportunity to kind of open up one of those things that we saw earlier, which is where you flipped forward into the play and you kind of put yourself out of position because you needed to react to something that happened immediately after. In this situation, it's okay to use boost on the ground. I know boost conservation is a big deal, and you're doing a very good job at keeping boost, but pads will get you there quite quickly. Like one flip, a little bit of boost, keep that momentum rolling. The flips aren't too necessary. I think the jump was a little unnecessary. That's just kind of buying you more time in the air, and you want to make sure that you don't do that in terms of kind of efficiency on the ground and being able to get to this ball as quickly as you can. So it does look like he's coming in for the demo, and that's, you know, natural, but I think you just kind of wasted a little bit of time by doing that. Around him. Nice 50 read on the ball. Take that boost, get back. Okay. Be near the play, but don't commit for this ball yet. You take your time. Good. Okay. On this one, so when he hits this ball, right here, you can tell based on his positioning that he's not really going to easily be able to follow this ball back up. Oh, good, he's on 0 boost too. So right here, he's not going to put a straight heater on net. You see your teammates back. I would go ahead and try to challenge this one. It's a pretty high pop. It's a slow roll. Just go ahead and commit for it. And there's a little hesitation, but I mean, it's not a big deal. At the end of the day, you still went for it a little bit after. It just was a misread. Okay, good work. Steal the boost. Yep. I don't like that, but that's alright. Alright. So here's well. When tangent gets bumped, there's a guy in net who's going to beat you to this ball. Your job as last man is to kind of stay relevant in this play, so you're applying pressure, but I would not actually commit here. because even if you win this challenge, you're not going to score. If you lose this challenge aggressively, they have a breakaway. So I would just buy a little bit of time, stay near it, so Lol Man doesn't think he can take time to set up a play. But jumping for this is a big risk, because it's a slow roller already. Looks like Tangent's there to kind of do something. Passes it out. I wouldn't go for that. Good. Nice pick challenge. He's not going to put that on net. That's your fault. Patience. Should still have. Nah. That's just a misread. Nice catch. Alright, so on this one, I don't love it. And so even if a perfect scenario, this is a pretty flashy shot to go for. It's also buying a lot of time for these guys to get prepared. Instead, what you could have done is just catch this ball and start dribbling it infield. Because they bumped each other here, and they're already going to be scrambling to get back. So when you see them bump each other, you kind of want to pressure them immediately. By doing a ceiling shot, like the flashy plays like that are effective when done right. But there's a time and a place to do all of that. And if you are giving the opponents time to get set up on the field, all of that pressure that they created on themselves by making this bump is just going to wash away. Even though you would have had to have made a play around Muffin regardless, ceiling shot is a pretty risky all-in type play. Yeah, and it ends up converting. And the reason for this is you got to understand, and I know that, look, I've been guilty of this too, but in terms of flashy mechanics, it works for the highest level of players because they're putting challenging shots on net every time, and they have very good boost efficiency. They can set up the plays really quickly, and their rotation back is fast. They have great recovery. If you don't check just about all of those boxes, going for a flashy play can be a major risk to your team. And this is something that I commented on in ones as well. It's basically an all-in play, and you're putting yourself out of rotation, out of position, out of the basically next counter attack that's going to come after this if you don't score it for a good while. So here you go in with, let's see, 100 boost. You're down to 6-0. So yeah, you've burned 100 boost in 5 seconds to not really make much of a threatening play on net at all. And that's not attempting to be an insult, because I barely ever go for those either. Like, it's just not. And I know that that's kind of hard for some people to grasp as well, that the things that pros do so effectively is not the best idea for someone else. But I mean, mind you, if this is actually a league match, when it came to me playing in CL, you can actually watch the grand finals on this channel as well, and I really don't go for much at all that is flashy. It's all about safe play here, and when it came down to the wire, especially when it's 4-4, if you are maybe down a goal with little time left, that's kind of acceptable to go for. If you're up several goals, yeah, do whatever you do, have a good time. But when it's this down to the wire with such little time on the clock left, it was a really risky thing for you to do with basically high risk, high reward. And the reward, the only thing that could have come from it is a goal, but again, getting scored on is something you want to avoid a lot more than you prioritize scoring. Just to get an idea of it, let's watch it from your teammate's perspective as well. Yeah, so again, there's 2 defenders in net as well. If there was just one, this might be a little better, but now what's this guy's name? Yeah, Tangent. Tangent can't dive on this ball at all because there's 2 defenders in net. If he does, he's going to be counting on a 50-50. He ends up getting a pretty strong touch forward. He kind of reacted poorly to it, but his job here would be turn around because, again, you've set up an all or nothing play there. So he shouldn't be lingering trying to get the next touch. He should just let you do what you do and be ready for defense. I like the idea of trying to cross him up and play it infield here. Just an unfortunate read. Okay, so that's the game. Again, I do recognize Lowman here. I'm guessing this is MLE just given the whole private match situation and kind of the intensity of the game. But I think for you, just the whole concept that I followed that really helped me out was prioritizing defense. Your sole objective in the game shouldn't be scoring. It should be not getting scored on. And that's kind of a weird example to make, but it changes your entire decision making from the base level. You know, maybe a shot like that isn't something you would go for if you were thinking exclusively, I don't want to get scored on, instead of, I want to put this shot in the net. I think that what's going to be a better friend for you is just focus more on bread and butter mechanics like power shotting, small touches to keep the ball near you, instead of kind of going for aggressive hits that, you know, are a setup for something else. I think mechanics are a great thing if done right, but the consistency to get there is something that is a very, very, very long process. Further, I would, how do I say this as well? I think the best piece of advice I've ever heard initially was actually from Scrubkilla back probably 2 years ago, when somebody just asked him in his chat, like, how do you improve at the game, or what one advice do you give for ranking up? And his answer was just to always be consciously thinking about everything you're doing on the field. Constantly keep an eye on the opponents, constantly keep an eye on everything that's progressing and what you are doing, because if you're putting thought into every touch and every decision, it's going to go a lot further than kind of getting stuck on autopilot. And I think there were a couple situations where you might have kind of had that autopilot ideology, mainly in the very beginning. So I'm not going to be able to go all the way back, but my point remains. No, I think this looks pretty good. This actually looks pretty close to where I'm at in terms of pace. So I think you're close. I think you have just a couple things to iron out, but you'll get there. You know, we all start, or we're all exactly where you are at some point in our journey. So don't worry about that. But anyway, if you have any other questions, let me know. And again, if you are in MLE, then that's awesome, dude. I might even still have my little Sabres car here. Yep, there it is. Anyway, yeah, man. Thanks for submitting, and I will talk to you later. Let me know if you have questions.